Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I'm continuing to try to clean things up. Got way too much stuff that I've accumulated over the years, and we're getting an early start this year as far as doing the cleaning in the autumn. When it cools off, it's still pretty hot. Matter of fact, we had a record high of 96 yesterday here in Florida. Anyway, I found this, among some other stuff, in an old freezer, upright freezer, that we've had in the garage for probably 35 years, and stopped using it, and I've been using it as storage for electronic stuff and other junk that I have here in my workshop. Anyway, this is a Kenwood TR-8300 transceiver. 10 watts output. It's only good for 70 centimeters, like 450 megahertz to 460 megahertz, thereabouts. It's crystal controlled. That's how old it is. So you have to buy crystals for each frequency you want to work. Again, it's 10 watts, FM only, no single sideband. Most of the communications on the amateur radio, upper bands, VHF bands, and UHF bands are FM. Not all, but most. The previous, I think I got this at a Hamfest, I think. It's been so long. And the previous owner had made some little stickers and put some of the frequencies on the top here that he had inserted crystals for. I'm going to show you the crystals in a minute. So you had to buy a crystal for each frequency. Like he has, channel 1 is 446.0, channel 2 is 446.5, and channel 3, so those are simplex, and channel 3 is 449.1 and 444.1. That was for a repeater close to him, probably. I don't know if each of the channels you had to have two crystals or not. I don't know. I found the manual on the internet, but it didn't really tell you that much, so didn't get much from that. So it does kind of work. I do get noise. I can turn this back up. So I get noise. I went through all the channels. There are 23 channels possible, and I got nothing but noise. And he's only got crystals for a couple of the channels. And I'll show you, like I say, I'll show you that in a minute. It came with, I think, this is the original, and it's kind of sticky right now, the original microphone. Pretty ugly looking microphone. Kind of reminds me of the microphones that people in the military used back in WW2, maybe kind of reminds me of that. It has a very unique, and I'm going to turn the power supply off before I make any stupid mistakes. So it's running off a 13.8 volt DC power supply. This is mobile unit, of course. The before I open it up, it has quite a few knobs. This is the on-off, push on and off, and volume. This is the squelch only. Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I can zoom in much more. I don't have the lighting right, I admit. And I'm going to turn it back on so you can see the dial again. Just got to remember. So there's the dial. There's a S meter. Oh, my big finger out of the way. Get Mr. Finger so my finger's not in the way. So there's the S meter, power meter right there. and then there's a red indication lamp. I'm not sure what it's for. And then there's the channel number right there. You can't read it. I'm sure it's out of focus. It's right there. And it's tuning knob. This is, let me see. Forgot already. I looked it up and I forgot already. This is the call channel / mic. I don't know what that means. Over here we have a call button. I don't know if that transmits your call sign in code or not. I don't know. Here's on the air, so if you actually key the mic and transmit, that light should come on. And then there's a button that just says on. And then there's one next to it says, I think it says low and high. Yeah, low and high. So that must be how you change the transmit power. So that's basically it. Let me turn it off again before I do something bad. Now what I wanted to show you first, it can't be first because I've already showed you a whole bunch of things. It doesn't make any sense. I tell you, it's getting hell to be old. Okay, it has a very unique mount. This is the mount right here, bracket, that you install in your vehicle. And then you can remove the radio by this mechanism right here, this latching mechanism. That latches it right here to this mount. So you can flop these on two sides. You can pull these back. It will unlatch, and then you can pull the radio out if you don't want to leave the radio in your vehicle. So that's pretty. That in itself is pretty nifty. And then it has 3 positions where you can change the angle of the radio. All right, let me disconnect the antenna so I can rotate this all the way around. God, my fingers just don't work anymore. Ah, come on, baby. Get that. Boy, that's a fine thread. Man, I should have used I got a B and C on that adapter. I should have just used the B and C connection. Okay. So there's my big arm in the way. Oops. Right here is the power. There is a speaker jack. And then there is, and these are hand marked. So they're not marked from the factory, which is kind of weird. This says DISC. I don't know if that means discriminator output or what, but that's another jack. This is the antenna jack. That's it. Two screws hold the cover on, which I have taken out. And now I can show you the innards and lay it on its side. I got the power off, right? Okay. So there, it is just chock full of electronics. Now down here is the crystals, and then there's room. Let's see. Oh, it's marked, or is it marked? It's not marked, but I'm guessing there is room for 23 crystals. And I don't know the mechanism, and it's not that important, for using offset versus simplex. That may be that button in the front. Maybe it's a fixed offset to give you repeater operation. So there's where the crystals would go, all up in here. And on the, where did I see it? Someplace. Oh, inside the cover is a little chart of the crystals. And it's just the numbers. That's all it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is right there. So the crystal locations are marked here. They're not marked down on the chassis. So like I say, he's got, or the previous owner got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crystals. And on the top here, that's what I was talking about before, he's got some little tags here identifying what the frequencies of each channel is, and it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, yeah. So that's the 7 crystals he has. Now again, as I recall, memory is not the best anymore. As I recall, when you bought a crystal, you didn't buy the exact frequency that you wanted. You bought an offset based on the radio, some parameter of the radio. That's what I recall. Now, if you know, leave a comment and straighten me out here. Don't want to give out bad information. So this is the transmitter section under here, nice and shielded. And like I said, a lot of components, lots of components, a lot of wiring. Pretty neat little radio. Back in its day, probably cost a small fortune. Only 10 watts. Only, oh, he's got another little decal here. Whoops, it I just destroyed. Oh well, forget that. Pretty cool. Speaker is on the bottom in the back, which is kind of strange as far as listening, but it's probably the only place they could put it as far as the layout. And then there's the mounting bracket. That's a heavy, heavy, heavy mounting bracket. And let's see, I'm just going to toy with this for a second. This, like I say, this mic cord is sticky, very sticky. Let me just toy with this. Okay, so let me get my hand out of the way. And of course, I'm not zoomed in very good. I'm max zoom, so forget that. But anyway, this piece here is mounted to the radio with 2 screws. And then this mechanism is attached to the mount itself. So that's how you couple and decouple. And you could put a little padlock in there to lock it in place if you wanted to. So that's how that works when we put it back. I don't know what I'm going to do this. It's, you know, getting crystals for it would be very, very expensive. And the crystals that are in here that are useless as far as my area. So I think I'm just going to have to junk it. As I've mentioned, boy, I'm so far away from the microphone. Oh my gosh. As I've mentioned before, I've had a very, very difficult time giving away things locally so that I don't have to pay a postage or anything like that. And I'm not too keen about eBay anymore. So, as much as I hate to do this, I've got to get rid of some of the stuff. I may just, I hate to say the word, trash this. Because it appears, you know, it's got audio. I don't know if it'll transmit. It appears to be working. So, that's about it. I'm going to continue to clean out that old freezer, upright freezer. I know there's like 3 or 4 radios in there similar to this, about the same size but different model. And so if you're interested, I'll show you those. If I see there's not much interest, then I'll just toss them. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. That tells me if you were interested in this at all, or if you were just, I don't know if you even lasted through the end of it. But it at least tells me you lasted through the end of it, and that it might have been of some entertainment value. Have a great day. Bye-bye.